Today I'm going to teach you guys how to meal prep. So what is meal prep? Meal prep is planning, preparing, and proportioning meals in advance. This is usually done 1 to 7 days in advance. So why do you want to meal prep? You can meal prep to lose weight, gain weight, eat healthier, eat more consistently, and not rush right before you want to eat. So the materials you're going to need to meal prep are knives and other silverware. You're going to need tongs, a spatula, a baking sheet or pan. You're going to need measuring cups from 1/4 of a cup all the way up to 1 cup. Measuring spoons from 1/4 teaspoon all the way up to a full teaspoon. You're going to need a pot. This one's pretty small, but the bigger one's back there. You're going to need pans. And you're also going to need meal prep containers. Step 1 of meal prep is to decide what you want your goal to be, whether lose weight, gain weight, eat healthier, eat more consistently, or not to have to rush right before you eat your food. Personally, I do it so I don't have to rush before I eat, and I also like to eat healthy.
Step 2. Choose your meals. The first meal, breakfast, should be something very easy, such as eggs, overnight oats, or a muffin to go. Your second meal, lunch, should be very filling. Could be wraps, a salad, or a grain bowl. Your third meal could either be dinner or a snack. If you want a snack, you want something that's going to keep you full and give you lots of energy. And your last meal, dinner, should also be very filling. You should not be hungry after this meal. This can be chicken, steak, stir fry, or pasta. Step 3. Make your meal plan. These should be foods that you know you're going to like and enjoy. Why do you want to be able to like and enjoy your food? Because if you're not going to like and enjoy your food, you're not going to want to stick to the plan. So, what I like to do is I like to cook foods that I know I'm going to like no matter what. The foods that I like are steak and potatoes, and chicken, rice, and vegetables.
Step 4, make your grocery list. This should all be categorized. You should have your proteins, your carbs, your fats, your snacks, and your produce. For me this week, my produce was my mixed vegetables. My proteins were chicken breast and a quick cut steak. My carbs were rice and potatoes. And my fats were nuts. And my snack was raspberry fig bars. Step 5 was go to the grocery store and get all your items. My tip for this was stick to your list. It should be quick and easy. So for my breakfast, I got eggs and oats. My lunches, I'm going to have chicken breast, white rice, and mixed veggies this week. My dinner is going to be this quick cut steak and potatoes. And my snacks are going to be the raspberry fig bars, cashews, and pistachios. Step 6, we're going to prep and cook our meals. The first thing we're going to want to do is set aside 1 to 2 hours to cook all of our meals. The second thing we're going to want to do, if we want, we're going to turn on music or a podcast. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to set aside our grains, so like our carb sources. Mine are going to be potatoes. I'm going to cook those first since they take the longest. And next, I'm going to start with the steak. As you can see, we have our potatoes seasoned and ready to go with our sheet pan and our parchment paper because they're going to take the longest to cook. And then as those are cooking, we're going to take the steaks out and we're going to pan fry those up. As your steak's cooking, we're going to want to check on the potatoes to make sure they aren't burnt, they're cooking properly. Biggest thing for cooking your meals is make sure you season all your food so it doesn't taste bad. Because if the food tastes bad, you're not going to want to eat it. And if you don't want to eat it, you're not going to want to stick it to your meal plan. As you can see, steak is all done. The steak cooked faster than the potatoes, even though we put the potatoes in first. With the time that I have with the potatoes left, I was able to move the steak into this big Tupperware container so that it's going to be easier for me to portion out the meals later. Now that all the potatoes are done, we're going to move everything into a meal prep container. Why are we going to do this? Well, because it's going to save time because you're not going to be digging through either of the big containers that the food's in to get it out. And the food's going to be all proportioned just to one meal container. And you won't be in such a rush to get everything together, mess up, because it'll all be in this little bowl. So now we're going to measure it all out into our little meal prep containers. So I'm going to do a 3/4 cup of potatoes, and I'm going to do a 1.5 cups of steak. level it out. And then you can just use the same exact measuring cup for the steak too.
So now that the meal is complete, what I like to do is I like to get a sauce, or one that I really enjoy. And I like to just put a little bit on my meal because this will make it taste better and it'll make me want to stay on my meal plan. And yeah, as you can see, the final product, all done. Wasn't very hard, took 20-25 minutes to make. Hardest part about this is making sure you don't overcook any of your food. If you overcook any of your food, it's not going to taste the way you want it to taste, and it's going to want to make you go off track. So now, last thing to do, fill up the rest of these meal prep containers. And that's it. So now all the potatoes that didn't fit and all the steak that didn't fit in our meal prep containers are going to go in a larger Tupperware container, just so you can keep it just a little bit fresh. And then this is what you're going to be able to use if you run out of your meal prep. And you can go back to it whenever you want. It'll just be in the fridge. Okay, now that we have all of our excess food, we're going to go put it in the fridge. And now all of our meal prep containers and that extra food that we just put in those big containers are going to be able to be reheated at any time throughout the day. My tips and tricks are to cook in bulk, freeze extra portions that you did not cook, invest in good meal prep containers, don't overproportion your meals, do not overcomplicate it, keep it simple, basic foods, make foods that you're comfortable making, don't just prep meals but also ingredients, make use of your leftovers like we did with those big containers, keep your breakfast easy, use the freezer, don't forget about your snacks, store foods in a way that makes sense to you, and don't forget to season the food. So if you have successfully meal planned for the week, you should have saved money, saved time, reduced stress around mealtime, and you should have started eating healthier, cleaner foods. As you guys can see, meal prep is very easy, and thank you for watching.